In today's video, we've been called in to solve not one, but two impossible rat infestations, cases so bad no one has been able to crack them. One of them is so extreme that rat piss is literally seeping through the walls. And we're about to uncover the truth behind these mystery rat jobs and hopefully put an end to them. But first, let's hear from the homeowners and get some crucial clues. So you've been dealing with this for how long?
About 5 years.
Show us where you're hearing most of the activity.
Most of the activity goes on at this wall. Also goes along these other walls. And then if you look in that one room, this is where...
Oh man, I can smell the rat urine and everything coming through here.
And you can tell that like there's a... And that's not a leak, that's like a piss spot.
It smells like rat urine for sure.
It's bad.
Have the other guys been around the house to seal everything up?
They wanted a whole bunch of money to seal everything up, and then I went around and sealed up a bunch of stuff myself.
Nice.
And then I also found another spot that I haven't sealed up yet, but I didn't see any action. My wife found you after doing a bunch of research, and because she was looking for somebody that would actually pretty much guarantee the
and that's what we're here to do. And how did this work for you?
They don't like it. It works a little bit as far as it keeps them from the spot for about a day or so, but then they kind of get used to it and they come right back.
There you go.
So it works, but it doesn't.
Got it. Okay. So the other aggressive active spot is right here. You could see that Ray put some traps under there. And this is right here next to the kitchen. Got dog food here. All right, so we got the ladder in the attic set up. So when we do the smoke test, we can also inspect. I wonder if the rats see that and scurry off. That could be a good repellent. In fact, I'm gonna patent that. Homeowners, stop getting sold on the maintenance program. You can do that yourself. You can head over to a big box store, grab some poison bait boxes, put it around your house and set some traps. You don't need to be spending $200 a month for so-called controlling the rats. That is not going to work, so stop with that scam. I call it a scam because anybody that sells that knows in their conscious mind that that's not going to work, and it proves it right here. Job after job after job after the customer signs is reaching out to us because they're fed up. Got to be able to conduct a proper comprehensive investigation to figure out precisely how they're getting into the home. Put your money into that. Let's begin the investigation right now. Okay, Anthony is suited up. So what does that mean? That means that he chose to go underneath. Are you ready, Anthony?
Of course.
Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and inject the smoke. You head underneath the crawl space. Obviously the bathroom and the kitchen is a hot spot. You're gonna be a cameraman as well, so I want some good footage for our audience, because we love our audience and they want to see every little thing. So, all right, buddy, here we go. When you're hiring somebody, ultimately, which is rare, but ultimately, if you can find a company that deals with the roof and the sewer rat, that's a huge competitive advantage over everybody else that you interview. And I understand price is a huge concern for everybody. And at the end of the day, we do our best to keep that price as low as possible. But when you're dealing with what we're dealing with, there's obviously an investment. You're paying for our expertise, not our time. So enough talking. Let's dive down deep into the crawl space. I'm gonna head up to the roof and start injecting the smoke. Here we go.
Look at that. Okay, guys. How are we doing today? Having an amazing Saturday. I mean, they caught one.
All right, so Dave's getting our non-toxic, quick 90-second candles that we've put together here. This is our portable unit that we're starting to design. This is the prototype. We're super excited to be launching this here. If you're interested in one, go ahead and DM us, want one, in the comments, and we'll respond.
Oh my gosh. Is there droppings down here? That explains why it smelled so much. Have you guys smelled what I smelled? Oh my gosh.
Now we made it super effective because one person can actually do their smoke test by utilizing this here. Hits the trigger, you set it, you place it, and then you can inject the smoke and do your own smoke test to your entire house. So you have 90 seconds, 4-minute, 3-minute candles by utilizing this portable. It's light, it's safe, you don't have a bunch of electrical cords, gas, things of that sort. It's pretty awesome.
Alright guys, it's kind of hard to see. I'm sorry about that. But up this wall here, I am seeing smoke. This is where the toilet is. Alright guys, I am right underneath the kitchen. I just confirmed with Dave and Jim. And go up the wall. Up and down. This is the runway for it. And then you can also see the amount of droppings that they left down here. Alright guys, it looks like we're gonna have to open up that wall and get a better look at what's going on.
Okay, so we opened up the wall, we exposed this 4-inch cast iron vent inside the wall cavity here. As you can see, it looks perfectly in good condition. So we're going to conduct another smoke test to figure out if the smoke is coming from the top down or the bottom up. So oftentimes with a home that's 47 years old with cast iron, it wears, there's a breach, the city sewer rats come in, they sense that flow, and then enter into a wall cavity. So sewer rats need two things, food and shelter. They have the food in the sewer system, and they're using Ray's house as shelter. But we're ready to stop that here in just a moment. Tell him to hit it. Yeah.
We got nothing so far.
All right, so we're not finding any breach on that 4-inch stack that we assumed. Everything seems to be good there. I think I know what's happening. Hopefully our camera can figure out where the break is on this kitchen line. I think they're coming in from the break on the kitchen line. Once they're into the crawl space, they're migrating under tub, in the wall for the toilet. So I think the main entry point is this kitchen, but we're about to determine that right now. We're making it so far. So far, so good. We're dealing with a 1.5 inch galvanized, so it's gonna be a little challenging.
So it kind of makes sense just because, well, from down there, I showed the audience that there's a rat burrow under there.
Okay.
On the bottom of it, there's stuff from the attic. And as you go to the toilet and the tub, there's also droppings on the bottom. So it looks like they're using that to go up.
The issue is you couldn't see an actual break on the kitchen line underneath the crawl space.
Could not,
it's
no.
in between the walls.
Yes.
And we're getting tons of smoke out of
Yeah.
the kitchen cabinets. Okay. All right, so again, the challenge is I'm gonna go ahead and take this. We're gonna add some lubricant to here and hopefully we can make that little sweep there with the camera. Okay, we're gonna see now. Make one sweep when you get to that turn and boom. All right, so we were able to make it all the way down. We're gonna run some water because I know that we're inside of the actual drain. There's the water. So we know that there's not a break in the main where the actual water flows, otherwise his crawl space would be completely flooded. Now that we have the lens that's completely clean, we're gonna slowly retrieve the camera so we can get a good visual of the vent line. Keep pulling back. Ooh, what's that? Go. No, that's the drain. Okay, keep coming. Keep coming.
I don't want to go past that turn.
Dude, what is that? It's right there. Yep, there it is. There it is, right there. Massive. Okay, there's the break. See that little opening right there? That's the break right there. Ray's got a sewer rat issue. So if you could imagine, if Ray would have paid for all of the exclusion around his house, the pest controllers were walking around ground level, saw a few holes and said, oh, I'll seal those up for 400 bucks. Ray looked at it. He's a good DIYer. He knows how to use tools. He said, why spend that money? I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But the problem is that even if he were to spend that money, it wouldn't have solved the issue. That's why we do this step first And it's critical as a process of elimination because, again, when rats are in a home, they're going to be the roof rat or the sewer rat. They're definitely coming in through the kitchen, and they're just migrating throughout Ray's house. That's the issue right there. So Ray has two options. He can put the rat blocker that we have, it's trenchless, or open up the stucco and actually do the repair. But we'll see what decision he wants to move forward with, if any. The good news is we know the source. We got to the root problem. Jennifer, how are you?
Good. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming out.
My pleasure. We found your issue.
Uh-oh.
It's the city sewer rat.
No way.
So it's your kitchen line that's broken. Sewer rats are sensing that airflow. They come up through the middle of the street, through your lateral, and then through your open pipe. And then what they're doing is they're...
so disgusting, you guys.
So we're not having to open up stucco and do that repair. We have a trenchless sewer rat blocking device that we slide into your existing plumbing system underground, so you'll never have this problem again. Even in the future, if there's a broken pipe, there's a one-way flap, Jennifer, so it allows the water to flow out. It's a one-way door, so the rats cannot come back into the sewer system.
You guys are amazing. Let's pay for it. Or should we have the city pay for it? This is their fault. It's their sewer lines, right?
No, it has nothing to do. There's sewer rats migrating up and down the city sewer, but once they get into your lateral, city's not going to do anything with it.
Damn.
All right, you can see she wants us to get started right away, so we're going to deploy the rat traps, the monitoring device, the Twinzyme. We're going to get this thing completely eradicated and drop in the Twins rat blocker as well. Got a lot going on here, but we're moving forward. Let's get started. This enzyme is amazing. If you want to do fast, effective rat trapping in attics, crawl spaces, this is the fastest and most effective way to trap rats, whether it's roof rats or sewer rats. Now, if you notice, Ray has a lot of traps underneath his kitchen, in the crawl space, and he's had them for quite a few years. Yes, he's probably been successful with one or two, but look at all of those traps that he's had has not solved this issue at all. Why? Because he never found, or had the companies never found, the entry point. So you'll never see us as professional rat exterminators. We'll never prematurely set traps. We always go to the source, and then we block that source. Then that's when effective trapping begins. And if you're new to our channel and you're suffering from rats, these traps are amazing. It forces their head inside the kill zone. That bait tugger holds the bait. They never steal the bait. The platform, you can see their hind legs. They'll slip with this polished plastic, never escaping. And in attics and crawl spaces, this platform really stabilizes. The traps won't drag away, they can't escape. Absolutely a game changer when it comes to trapping rats. Okay, so this is our rat blocker. Yeah, this thing's awesome, you guys. And luckily for Ray, he already has an existing outside clean out. So simply, the rat blocker drops down, and then as water flows, it opens this valve up, allows everything to flow through, stopping the rats from ever getting back into Ray's plumbing and vent system. Let's just say, and I know we've tested it, baby wipes, feminine products. Let's just say something gets caught up right here. You're gonna have always water coming out of here, so your line will never back up. They're coming up, and the kitchen line. When you were running the kitchen, Ray, I saw water flowing right through.
Okay.
So this is telling me that this rat blocker that we're going to install here is before your entire plumbing system. So it's protecting toilets, protecting everything. All right.
Hey, knock
Go to
it
Home
off.
Depot. Would he chase a rat?
I doubt it.
Oh, okay. All right, so Dave's getting the rat blocker ready, prepped, so it slides in real nice and easy. The downside could be potential sewer gases that go into the house, but as of right now, they've lived in this home for quite a while. They have not experienced any sewer gases, and that's the very first thing that we ask the client before we install the rat blocker. And unfortunately, this job is never ending. It's, you know, once we block these rats from Ray's, they're gonna head over down the street to another house, and it's just a never-ending battle with these rats, especially city sewer rats. they are multiplying by numbers, especially a city like this in Long Beach. Rats, come get your appetizers. Tonight's gonna be deadly. So if you think about that rat blocker, homeowners, if you have an existing clean out and it does require a combi fitting, it's got that long sweep. If you do have that, which most homes do, the amount of money a rat blocker can save you, because think about it, this rat blocker saved all of the demolition and all of the repairs, and it's extraordinary to be able to show up at a job and drop one down knowing that it's gonna stop the rats immediately. No digging, no excavation. I mean, it's pretty incredible that we can offer this service and this product knowing that all it takes is a little bit of WD-40 and slide that rat blocker down. Now it's time for cleanup behind that tub. We'll start vacuuming up there and do some enzyme treatment. Smelling better already. So Ray's gonna put all the dog food, store the dog food away, and keep everything off the counters. That's super critical, especially when you have pets and you have food that's left out. Those rats, as soon as we seal them up and block them in, hopefully they can get out of the rat blocker and be on their way and never come back in. But the ones that are stuck in here that don't go out the flap, they're gonna be in starvation mode. And when they smell food, they'll do whatever it takes. They'll drill right through Ray and Jennifer's walls to get to dog food, fruit on the counters, bread, crumbs, you name it. They love these right here. And then it makes us look bad because customers go, well, we never had that before. What's going on? We always inform our clients prior to our trapping. Please, please, I can't stress enough, store the food. So one of the pest controllers was saying that this was the entry point right here, which there is quite a bit of a gap. But what I love about white finishes, you can see that there's no sebum, there's no grease marks. Kind of difficult for a rat to come through here and then come this way and get through here. They're more likely to scale this stucco wall, which they can easily do, and get through here. But this for sure is not the entry point at all. But holes like this do need to get sealed up. Done. That looks amazing, you guys. All right, well, it's just a waiting game now, and this is where it gets exciting because you never know how many rats you're gonna be dealing with here, and that's why the cameras are super important. Gives us all of that intel. So Anthony and the team are gonna finish cleaning up, and let's see if there's any action here. And now we're jumping into a 10-year rat problem. So we get a call from Todd, who rents this house, and for the last 10 years, they've been suffering with rodent activity, both in the crawl space and in the attic. They've hired several other pest control companies who have not been able to figure it out. The last pest control company who serviced the property said, Todd, call the twins. I think those are the guys that are gonna be able to solve this issue. Let's go meet Todd, do a walkthrough, and see what we can do to get this house rat-free.
The house is a mess.
Where do you usually feed the cats? Here in the kitchen?
All outside. The one cat only gets wet food and she gets food here.
Where do you get the activity in the attic? What part? Right in this
Over the kitchen area, which is very slim to get in from the attic. Over the living room. It's noisy. It sounds like they're remodeling up there.
Did the other pest controllers, did they do extensive investigation in the attic?
They got lazy with it.
There's the attic access
Yes, sir.
there. Okay, you got it. You can see the frustration in Todd's face here. Just pest controller after pest controller, all saying different things and not solving the issue. There's cats inside the house. He hasn't seen them in the house, but again, they're very attracted to pet food. So we're definitely, if we do get into the trapping phase, we're gonna have to make sure that there is absolutely no food left in this kitchen area. But we're gonna start with the investigation, start with the smoke test, process of elimination. We'll see, more than likely it could be a sewer rat issue, but soon to find out. Stay tuned.
A few moments later.
So you can see all of the rat traps in place. The owner spent money on replacing all of the HVAC ducts and brand new blown-in insulation. Absolute waste of money. Got repellents. Amazing. Spend all of that money thinking and trusting these other professionals. And here we are, 10 years later. Not right.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, so while the guys are getting the smoke machine ready to go, I'm gonna head up to the roof here and see if there's anything that's obvious. Do some sniff testing on the vents. You can see that this roof is in perfect condition. There's no roof overlaps. Where are they coming in is the question. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, the rush and the excitement when we get on a job, especially after 10 years, still excites us after thousands of jobs. Here we go. We're going to get the crawl space prepped. This trap here is deployed. Okay, so we have the crawl space, the attic prepared. Now it's time to get the smoke machine and start smoking. Ryan! Put it in!
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Guys, stop placing rat traps prior to identifying the true route entry point. That is the key. I wouldn't even want you to buy any of our traps until you find and seal up the entry points. It's just not gonna work. Look at between Ray's job and Todd's job, the amount of companies they went through, the amount of suffering and sleepless nights. It's not right. It's absolutely not right. This is what it takes right here, getting in the deepest, darkest corners of attic and crawl spaces to get to the source. And having the right equipment, the right skill set, all makes a difference in solving an issue. All right, so now we're heading down into the crawl space. Whew. Let's see if we're getting any smoke in the crawl space. Definitely getting smoke in the crawl space, but it could be the wax seal. So we're gonna cap that pipe off in the attic, continue to perform the smoke test, and then we're gonna do a deep dive into the crawl space next. But we're on. Okay, head over to the toilet area.
Alright, this doesn't look too friendly. I think that's a rat burn. All good. I think so. I just can't tell where it's coming from. False alarm. I think it is coming from the wax seal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's the 3-inch clean out cap like I thought, because you can see the rat grease all over that pipe. All right, so now we're moving into phase 2 because the landlord just approved moving forward because she wants this rat problem solved once and for all. The plumbing system that was installed is all ABS. So even though that's the best material to use for your drain system, the issue is that they used rubber end caps, which are the clean out caps. And what happens is the city sewer rat, they'll come up, they'll sense that those rubber caps are weak, they'll lay into those sewer pipes and they'll chew a hole through those rubber caps, getting into the crawl space and attic. So we need to go in and remove those and reinstall rat-proof caps. But more importantly, to prevent the rats from coming in and chewing through the drain system, we're getting prepared here to excavate and install a rat blocker down this main sewer cleanout. So what'll happen is, as the city sewer rats underground, they utilize the underground sewer system, and then our metal flap right there stops them from ever getting into the four walls of the home. I really want to make a point when it comes to rat trapping. We're on so many jobs and we're noticing that a lot of pest controllers are placing 5, 10, 15, 20 rat traps in one area, and that is not effective rat trapping. Effective rat trapping is placing 1, maybe 2 in the active area. So in this particular situation, we're only going to need 1 to 2 traps up in that attic area, 1 to 2 traps up in a crawl space. Guys, you got to think about, if you're placing 14 rat traps and let's say you catch 2 with that unstable insulation, utilizing Victor traps and the T-Rex traps, you only have about a 40 to 60% chance of catching these rats. And more than likely, you're only going to catch the juvenile rats. These big smart rats, they stay back and they are not going to hit all of the other rat traps. What they're going to do is they're going to cannibalize and eat the other juvenile rats. So that's why we use monitoring cameras along with our ultimate twin traps that catches them all the time. Why? Because it lures them right into the kill zone every single time. And that platform that we use stabilizes our rat trap on the insulation. Super, super, super effective. That's why we're claiming a 99.5% chance of catching rats. So again, placing 1 to 2 rat traps with a camera is the most effective way to get rid of your rat problem in any given space, guys. Speaking of rat traps, let's go get those 14 out of the attic. Just useless.
Just reel it in.
So we're going from all of these to 2 of these, throwing these right in the trash. As you can see, we have our pre-bait right before the hoodie. This gets them very used to the traps. And then we added peanut butter inside the bait tugger. And then what I like doing is I like using a little honey. It just keeps everything fresh for a very long time. It gets that sweet aroma. All right, we're checking back here with Anthony and Brian. Man, these guys are slow today. All right, guys, 14 hours later, we're getting to the fitting. Or is it 12 hours, Brian?
I lost count after the first 3.
I haven't been here for a couple of days now.
Couple days?
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Nice.
Here you go, boss. Oh, thank you, boss.
Thank you, boss. They call me One Cut Dave. The ultimate rat blocker's about to get installed. If you plan on installing the rat blocker, you gotta have a combi fitting just like this. Now we're gonna go ahead and backfill and get this front yard nice and clean. All right, so while David is installing the rat blocker, we're gonna get rid of this mess right here that eventually rusts out. And look at this, guys. This is a 3-inch vent. This is cool, one size fits all rat cap. So look at this. That's it. I mean, the time it takes to drill this and the ugliness behind this is just terrible. So again, this is a 1.5-inch vent right here. Look at that. We have a lot of pest control companies ordering these and they're saying, oh my gosh, it is saving us so much time from the guys getting up on the roof with all of the mesh and the screws and the drill motors. You simply, and this will last a long time. Why? Because they're UV protected. Look at how clean that looks. set.
When you hear that sinking, it'll set right into place.
Okay, the rat blocker is installed. No more city sewer rats coming up from the city sewer, coming into the lateral, and into Linda's house. Okay, so Anthony's up in the attic, getting that taken care of. Set up the traps and the cameras. Let's go check on the sewer cleanout. Yeah, here's that fitting, Todd. This is what they chewed.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's how smart they are.
That's how you solve a 10-year rat problem. So a couple pointers here. If you're hiring a pest control company and they've sealed everything around the house and they've placed trapping devices and you're not trapping, that's clue number one, that the problem isn't solved. Number two, that if you've sealed everything around the house and you continue to get activity, more than likely it's going to be a sewer rat issue. So make sure that whoever you hire, ask them, do you specialize in both the roof rat and the sewer rat? And if they say no, you may want to reconsider engaging with one that does. Tip number two, don't ever be sold on attic insulation replacement or duct replacement. It's the last thing you want to do. You have to achieve a complete eradication before you go through the extent of all of brand new insulation and ductwork. It just doesn't make any sense to do that without really identifying and stopping the rats. And tip number three, you never want to just prematurely set traps. You go to the Home Depot or a big box store and buy all of these traps and repellents thinking that you're going to win the battle. That's not going to work. As you see in this video, we've identified the source, we've prevented them from ever coming back, then we're strategically placing our rat traps. And we're only doing one right now, you guys. You don't need 10 or 15 traps. It's not going to achieve anything. You can see both Ray and Todd's stories here are very close to each other. One's 5-year, one's 10-year, but hired several pest control companies, placing traps prematurely and not identifying the true source of entry points. All right, quick update on Ray. So we did see a rat go down into the crawl space next to the kitchen area. So what we did is we headed back, we sealed that up, and guess what? We haven't seen him since. So what's probably happening is there was no way out. He dropped back down that pipe in the wall, that exterior wall that Ray did not want to open up, and he went right back into the city sewer. As of right now, we'll continue to monitor, but I think Ray's is solved once and for all. All right, we're back at Todd's. 48 hours later, the twin traps strikes again. Check out the footage. All right, let's go remove that rat from that trap. Pretty good size. So as you can see how powerful and how effective the trapping was, none of the rats flipped over. You could see the hind legs, it slipped. Look, it didn't even take the bait. Didn't even have an opportunity to. That's the beautiful part of the bait tugger. So this literally outperformed the 12 or 16 rat traps up in the attic. Another tip is that when we catch a rat and we verify in the camera that we caught him, we don't immediately come out and remove the rat. Why? Because typically when you catch a rat, this will attract all the other ones. They feel safe to come around, especially if they see a trapped rat. In this case, we didn't see any for hours and hours. So it's a pretty good indication now that this home is rat-free. But we're not gonna take any chances. We're gonna continue to monitor and leave another rat trap, because you just never know about the food source that's left inside of that attic, especially with all of those rat traps. Don't know if there's been a couple that are tucked somewhere left with some bait. So that's why we're not going to take any chances there. But just be mindful of that. If you catch a rat, wait it out, and you'll be able to verify if you've got more or not.
So after years of having rats in multiple different companies, the twins came in, and now it's been 2 months with no activity. I highly recommend their services. Thank you, twins.
These 2 episodes for sure deserve the rat dance.
We will see you in another successful rat extermination. Job solved. We will see you in the next another successful rat extermination. Job solved. We will see you in the next one.
I'm glad I wasn't in that one.